Hello to all the listeners out there who are listening to me right now. Welcome back to our next episode. The present episode is all about real self love. It's the third episode in the series. So, it's been a nice journey. The beginning is going well. We have some listeners who are giving us some comments and some suggestions also. And we have finally actually overcome the trouble or the hurdle of the low volume, which most of you listeners must be addressing to. And you must be coming across that kind of issue. But now I think with our software, we are able to increase the volume too. Anyways, so thanks for being connected to this channel. And the best part is the questions which have been put up by a couple of people. And they are different, they are interesting. Now, the most important thing which we're going to discuss, coming back to this stream of real self love, the episode 3, is about what exactly happens when we focus on thinking on the self throughout the day as compared to focusing on somebody else's life. Can this aspect of our life, this small habit of focusing on other people, thinking about other people throughout the day, can this too reduce the self-love which we feel for ourselves? What level of self-love can it reduce? How much of our life are we going to spend in thinking about others? How much life are we going to spend in thinking about ourselves? And in the previous podcast, we had spoken about a meditation series. Let's begin with the understanding of meditation, because meditation is also about thinking on the self. It's a small process which we can practice throughout the day. And meditation is one process which actually brings us back to the self. It breaks away all the bondages, all the distractions from the outside world, and brings us back to ourselves. Now, in most of the meditations which we focus on, all the meditations which are out there in the world today, we focus on something which is a material outside. It could be anything. It could be a candle, or it can be anything. Even our breath, which is like matter again, the air. When we focus on these things on the outside, we are missing out on something which is very important, the being within. In this kind of meditation which I'm going to share with you, we think on the soul that I am. This is known as the Raja Yoga meditation. So this is the first step to remove any external dependency. You see, we're not focusing outside again. We're not focusing on anything apart from ourselves. So in this meditation, I do not need any kind of props, any instruments, or any paraphernalias of getting into a state of meditation. You can sit straight, but this meditation in fact can be done even while walking. I'll be sharing with you the process of how to do that, how to do meditation while walking also. You can do meditation while even doing your activities. It's that simple, a meditation. One doesn't need to isolate oneself. One doesn't need to actually sit in a separate place. So this is also known as karma yoga, or connecting with the self while doing karma, and connecting to the supreme while doing karma. So now, since we understand that I am a soul and I comprise of 3 immortal faculties, namely my mind, my intellect, and my sanskars, or we call it as habits. These are the three powers which I as a soul have within me. So now, instead of focusing on the body as we had shared last time, we are taking our focus completely away from the bodily aspects directly to the soul that I am. That means I'm focusing on my mind, my intelligence, and my habits. So when we say look within in a spiritual journey, in any spiritual journey, when we say look within, many people ask this question: what does it mean by looking within? Even I ask that question: what does it mean by looking within? So I realized in my own spiritual journey, when I came across Brahma Kumaris, I realized that it's all pointing towards the mind, the intellect, and the sanskars which I am made up of. Now, since we all are looking for peace of mind, and the work of the mind is to think, now it's going to think till the time we don't leave our bodies. We have to do action, we have to do karma, and for that we have to think. But here, we need not focus on anything outside. So my thoughts are a meter actually. They are like a meter of my peace, of my happiness, love, power and bliss. The quality of my thoughts decide where my meter is going. It's on a higher scale or a lower scale in terms of my peace, my happiness, love, power and bliss. Also, this is where not just my mind, not just my thoughts, even my habits are the most important aspect, because they decide what will come onto my mind next. We'll discuss this in the future sentences, the coming up sentences. So, my habits are actually deciding what keeps on repeating on my mind. Sometimes we say it's very difficult to control the mind. Well, exactly, you're right. Because I have created certain habits in my life which take over my mind. You see, the mind, the intellect, and the sanskars or the habits, out of these three faculties, the one in between, the intellect, is the one which is the traffic police. It's just doing the work of a traffic police. It's allowing thoughts to come and it's bypassing some thoughts. Now, when I create a habit, any habit, let's say, we all have a habit of getting up in the morning and brushing, let's say. We get up in the morning. My intellect doesn't need to remind me that I need to brush. It's a habit. So it bypasses. I just get up and the first thought which comes to my mind is, let's go and brush, let's freshen up, or whatever habit you have created in your life. So it is bypassing my intellect. We have reached that level of practice. Similarly, don't we think that there's so many things in our life which are actually bypassing our intellect? Let's see how. So, my mind scope, that means whatever I'm visualizing on my mind is like a visual effect or a picture, and it is all being shot on my mind's eye. Whenever we think of something, we create a picture in our mind's eye, right? So, my mind scope either has visual effects or pictures of my own life or of someone else's life. Yes, this is where we talk about thinking on the self, about the self, or thinking about others throughout the day. So either I have got those visual pictures of my own life revolving in front of me, or I've got those visual pictures of somebody else's life revolving in my mind's eye. Exactly. See, we spend most of our time thinking about others, and in those thoughts too, the quality is generally low. Let me tell you why. Because either we are comparing ourselves and feeling low self-esteem with them, in regards to them, or we are feeling pride or egoistic, which is very, very different from high self-esteem. Pride and ego is not high self-esteem. It is a feeling of high self-esteem, but it is short-lived. Because ego doesn't let us go along on a long journey. We cannot follow that path of ego for a long time. We'll be isolating ourselves. We'll feel lonely. Nobody will like us. So let's come back. So thinking about others is also known as parchintan in Hindi. Parchintan. Chintan means to think. Par means somebody else, somebody apart from me. So now let's take an analogy over here. Imagine an actor who's busy looking at some other actor's script. He's there on the stage, but he's busy looking, peeping into somebody else's script. How is that actor doing? What is he going to say next? What does he do? How does he live his life? Right? So, I'm an actor, but I'm looking at somebody else's script. And how do they act and what do they do throughout the day? I may learn a thing or two from them for sure. There's something good I can pick up from them. However, my mind starts to create many visual picture effects, or let's say memories of my observation of that actor, obviously. And in the end, if I am over focused on other actors, what is going to happen to me? I will see myself delivering the same performance, the same script, the same dialogue. Why? Because now my intellect is getting bypassed. I have created a habit of looking at other person's life so much that I start thinking, talking, acting like that person. So where is my own original script now? Where is my own inner individuality, my own uniqueness? If I am an actor, I have come onto this earth to play a part. We all are actors, right? And if I am not following my own script, for how long can I do that? So when I'm thinking like somebody, talking like somebody else, acting like somebody else, for how long can I do that? And for how long can I love being somebody else? Is it even love? Is it infatuation? Is it fanhood? Is it running away from my own misery in my own world? Maybe I don't like my life, I'm following somebody else's life. In all the cases, it's lack of self-love. It is leading to lack of self-love. So the question here I need to ask myself is, am I living my own life, or am I a product of outer influence? That influence could be my neighbors, could be the media, well, could be my own parents too. Well, my parents, they are also individual souls, aren't they? Your parents are individual souls, and they have their own script which they brought together onto this earth plane. Or am I copying my own friends? You see, my own individuality, when it is lost, when I don't know who I am, what is my purpose, when I'm copying everybody else around me, I cannot love that being. How can I love that being? Because I am not myself. Now, this is where the question comes. The whole world tells us, be yourself. What does it mean to be myself? The first thing which I need to do is I just need to stop copying everybody else. I need to go to the core of my own originality. I'm like that gold which has been touched by so many souls, that so much of impurity has entered me. Imagine gold with so much of impurity. A 24 karat gold going down in value, 22, 18, 9, and maybe even lesser than that. Now, how do I remove those impurities? That we'll see into the meditation session later on. Well, let's move forward. So now, whenever I stop looking at my own script, let's say, and I look at others, and if this becomes a continuous habit of mine, then the faculty of the soul, which is the intellect, it just bypasses my own script each time, and I start living many personalities. Do you understand what does it mean by many personalities here? Haven't we heard of multiple personality syndrome? Exactly. That's where we're coming to. Science says that multiple personality syndrome is a disease. Well, yes, it is a disease of the mind, because the disease is looking into other people's lives and comparing ourselves, competing with them, copying them, so much so that our intellect doesn't know the difference between my original script and the copied script. So I might be living many different personalities in different situations. I have so many other scripts, superimposed scripts in my mind, that in a particular situation I really don't want to act in that way, but I end up acting in that manner. I end up being rude, or I end up being impolite to somebody. Well, that's because of the superimposition of somebody else's script. I might have seen somebody else reacting that way. Could be a movie, could be my friend, could be my parents. I'm copying them all the time. So where is my originality then? So one of the reasons we are not doing what we want to do in our life or have come to do in this life is because of this clutter of many people whom we have either looked up upon, and not just looked up upon but looked down upon too. Well, that's another topic, maybe can be taken as one. Looking down also is looking at someone's script, isn't it? When I look down upon somebody and I complain and crib about them, I'm actually making pictures of those people's lives. In both the cases, we have lost our own path, or let's say a part or a role. I have lost my own path, my own part or role, which is individual to every soul. Every soul's part is individual, so is mine. So imagine, can you love yourself if you don't know what is your own script, and knowing now that you have been living many scripts of many people who have influenced you throughout your life? Is it easy to love yourself? Which part of us, which part of me, which part of I can I love now? Well, some of us may say, I followed such a person and I became successful now. I'm sure you are. However, even in following that person, if I lose my own original personality, my core beliefs, my core values, and I might attain success by letting go a lot of my values and my core belief systems. Let's say a simple thing like telling a lie and reaching high in the ladder of success as compared to telling truth being my core value. I use that lie to reach up in my life. I might reach up, but I still will be feeling empty, because being a soul, I am the truth. If I don't follow the path of truth and I use lies to reach up in my life, to rise up in my life financially or in any way, I'm not connected to the truth. I'm connected to using lies as a habit. I'm again following somebody else's script. Maybe the world's script. The whole world is lying today, maybe. So am I living my original script? This is the reason why I cannot love myself. There'll always be an irritation. There'll always be a feeling of annoyance. There'll always be a feeling of emptiness within, because the soul, being the truth, is not following the path of truth. It's just for an example. You can see so many other cases or situations. So I can check. How can I know whether I'm following my own script or not? I can check by the feelings that I'm feeling regarding being where I am right now. Just right now we discussed about it, that I'll be feeling frustrated or irritated, not feeling complete, not feeling emotionally stable myself, because I'm not following truth, I'm following lies. So we all have a feeling, a gut feeling, and that gut feeling is always guiding us that you are not on the right path, you're not on the right path. It's something like an alarm which is going on again and again, and every time it goes on we put it on snooze. I'll change. Snooze means I'll change tomorrow. I'll change. Let's see, maybe let me get successful first, then I'll change myself. Snoozing it again. We do that on the snoozing, part of our alarm systems on our phones. So could I be different from that person whom I'm trying to copy, or persons whom I'm trying to copy? Could my creative side be used to flourish in the same field? Could be a job, could be a business, but in my own way, through my own values, through my own virtues, through my own standards, and through my own beliefs. Well, the righteous ones, obviously. So let's imagine if everyone copied everyone ditto. This world would be lacking invention or creativity, right? This world is actually copying everybody else when it comes to virtues and values. We see the whole value system. We see that the whole system of virtues, the truth and the lies, which we just discussed about, it's all moving towards lies. That's why we call it the Kala Yuga, or we call it the end of times, whatsoever we have learned in our own culture or religion. Well, coming back to self love now, I need to check that I am my own individual self. I am listening to my core and have not shut down my intellect by over observing others. Yeah, it's like short circuiting my intelligence or creativity or individuality. Imagine each soul as an advanced software. Yeah, soul is not a hardware, it's a software in the hardware, which is the body. And none of the softwares match each other. Like our fingerprints, they don't match. Nobody's fingerprints match because each soul is individual. Each one is different. So when we follow our individuality, we are at our creative best, the creative high. We are expressing ourselves like individual souls, like we should do. And the outcome? The outcome is that we experience a different life altogether and a different level of success, a feeling of contentment. Exactly. When we are following all the values and virtues, the truth, which I originally am, the soul, when I am in tune with the values and virtues, I feel content no matter what my financial situation, no matter what my condition may be, but I'll be content. Well, contentment can be another, I would say, another episode on its own. Self love and contentment. Let me know your views about it. If you want something more in details about contentment, we shall go ahead. So let's see. How can we meditate on this? Can we meditate on this? Let's try it out. Let's sit down comfortably. Let's focus our mind in the new belief that we have that I am a soul different from the body. And right now, let me introduce to you where exactly the soul resides in our body. You know, in the Indian culture or the Hindu religion, we put a bindi or a small symbol on our forehead. That is exactly where the soul resides. Putting the bindi is a symbol of beauty, yes, it is, but not regarding the body, not regarding the face, but it is the beauty which is the beauty inside. It is symbolism of I am a soul. Look at me over here at the bindi. Don't look me down at my body. When you talk to me, look at me exactly in between my eyes. Most of us don't even look into other people's eyes when we talk because we are not following the values, we are not following our own script. So imagine the kind of self-esteem or the self-confidence which we are having in our life because we are not following our script at all, we are following everybody else's. That's why we're feeling empty, the hollowness inside us. Anyways, that can be another topic. Self-esteem and following our own script. I'm taking down some notes also, guys, when I'm talking to you. So yes, let's meditate on that soul. So the place where the soul resides is exactly where we put a bindi. No matter which culture or religion do you come from, the place of the residence of the soul is right between the eyebrows, a couple of inches inside. And the way the soul looks is like a spark, like a light, a point of light, an energy, a concentrated form of energy. It's a vibration, white point of light. So in today's meditation, let's focus on that soul which is there at the center of our forehead, a white bright light. And now, Let's speak to the soul, which has its own individual mind and intellect, a habit or habits. I am an individual, unique soul with my own purpose, with my own script onto this earth plane. It is high time now that I make a new habit of not following or looking or over observing anybody's script, be it a good script or a bad script. Doesn't matter. It's time as an individual soul, to focus on the self, to realize that I've been sent onto this earth for a purpose which is greater than anybody else out there. Each individual's purpose is higher than the others, and mine is high too. Let me sit down right now and let me think about all those people whom I have looked up to, and all those people whom I have looked down upon in my life. It might be difficult to go back in my childhood, but yes, if I can remember, there are certain people, starting from my parents, from the school where I went to, from the friends whom I had, from the experiences I had along with them, which have shaped me up. Either I copied them or they copied me. But right now, I need to understand that I need to only copy the right things. If I want to copy something, let me copy some good qualities, good virtues, the truth, and let me get rid of the falsehood. That could be the bad qualities. Let me focus on the good qualities which I could learn from some heroes in my life if I really want to follow them or imbibe something from them. Let me look at only the good qualities. But let me chart my own path. Let me be the rudder of my own ship. Let me face the storms by following the values and the virtues all the time. And I shall set sail upon my purpose. Whenever I'm using the negativities of those habits which I've imbibed from outside, from the outside world, I'm not on my path. I'm not on the right path. I'm not even close to the purpose which I've come for. But when I'm using those virtues and qualities, the right ones, the purer ones, I'm coming closer day by day. So I look at only those who have virtuousness, righteousness, those who have courage to be on the right path. And I follow that path, follow those talents, follow those qualities, and I make my own life as an individual. The individual soul within me will bloom using those qualities and will become what I have come here to become. Thank you so much. Peace be with you. Baba be with you. Take care. Till the next episode. This is Shanu here, your friend. Bye bye.